Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we'll learn step by step how to rig and animate a robotic arm in Blender. Let's get started. On the screen, you can see a robotic arm model that I already created. I'll share the download link in the video description so you can follow along with me step by step. First, press A to select all parts of the model. Then press Ctrl A and apply rotation and scale. Applying these transforms is very important because it resets the object's scale and rotation values to default. This makes the rigging process work correctly and prevents errors during animation. Now press Shift A, go to Armature, and add a single bone. The bone is created exactly at the 3D cursor position. But right now, it's inside the model, so we can't see it. To fix this, go to the green Armature Properties tab. Open the Viewport display panel and enable In Front. This makes the bones visible through the mesh. The first bone we created will be the root bone. This bone will control the entire robotic arm. Now press Tab to switch into edit mode. Select the tail of the root bone at the top. Press E and then Z to extrude the bone along the Z-axis. Next, we need to snap the tail of this bone to the exact center of the cylindrical pin above. This pin will act as the hinge point where the upper arm connects. Press Tab to go back to object mode. Select the pin and make sure its origin point is exactly at the center. If it's not, right-click, choose Set Origin, and then Origin to Geometry. This moves the origin to the geometric center of the pin. Now press Shift S and select Cursor to Selected. This moves the 3D cursor to the center of the pin. Select the armature and switch back to edit mode. Select the tail of the bone, press Shift S, and choose Selection to Cursor. Now the bone's tail is snapped right to the center of the pin. Next, press numpad 3 to switch to the side view. Press E to extrude the bone again. This new bone will control the lower arm of the mechanism. Snap this bone to the joint where the two arm parts are connected. Go back to object mode and select the cylindrical pin at that joint. Again, make sure the origin is centered on the geometry. Press Shift S and choose Cursor to Selected to place the 3D cursor at the pin's center. Select the armature, go into edit mode, select the tail of the bone, and press Shift S, Selection to Cursor to snap it to the pin's origin. Repeat the same process to add bones for the remaining two arm segments. Now let's hide the rotating part and the gripper mechanism. Select them and press H to hide them in the viewport. Select the rotating part, switch to edit mode, and select the inner face. Press Shift S, Cursor to Selected to move the 3D cursor there. Go back to object mode, select the armature, and enter edit mode again. Select the tail of the last bone, press E to extrude, then press Shift S, Selection to Cursor to snap the bone's tail to the cursor position. Press Alt H to unhide the parts we previously hid. Now move the 3D cursor to the origin point of the rotating part. Extrude the bone and snap its tip to the cursor position. Next, let's add bones for the robotic arm's grippers. Extrude a new bone from the arm. Select this new bone, then press Alt-P and choose Disconnect Bone. Now you can move the bone to the exact place you need. Notice the dotted line that still connects it to the parent bone. This means the parent-child relationship is still active, even though the bones are disconnected. To test this, go into Pose mode, select the parent bone, and press R to rotate it. As you can see, even though the bones are visually separate, they still follow the parent. If you rotate the other bones as well, you'll clearly see the parent-child relationship between them. Switch back to object mode and select the pin of the first gripper. Make sure the pin's origin point is exactly in the center. Move the 3D cursor to this point. Now select the head of the last bone we created and snap it to the cursor. Then select the tail of the bone, press G, and align it with the gripper. This bone will control the first gripper. Repeat the same steps for the second gripper. Add a new bone, snap it to the pin, and align it properly. Once both gripper bones are set, switch to Pose mode and check the armature one last time to make sure everything is placed and posed correctly. Now it's time to bind the armature to the robotic arm mechanism. What we need to do here is assign each bone to its corresponding mechanical part. First, go to the Edit menu and disable Lock Object Modes. This will allow you to select both the bones and the mesh while in pose mode. Let's start with the base of the mechanism, which will stay fixed. Select the base object, then shift and select the root bone. The bone must be the active last selected object. The base will appear highlighted in orange in the outliner. Press Ctrl P and parent the base to the selected bone. Now, if you press G to move or R to rotate the bone, you'll see that the base follows the bone. Now select the upper rotating mechanism. Hold Shift and select its corresponding bone. Press Ctrl P to parent the part to the bone. We only want this part to rotate around its own axis. To test it, select the bone, press R, then double-tap Y. The mechanism will now rotate around its own local Y-axis. Here, the local Y-axis is the bone's own axis. To see the axes of the bones in the viewport, go to the Armature Properties tab and enable Axes under the Viewport display panel. Set the position value to 1, and you'll notice that the upward axis of the bone is the Y-axis. Next, select the first arm segment along with its pin, then select the bone that will control them. Press Ctrl P to parent them. If you press R and then X, you'll see that this bone rotates the first arm segment correctly. Repeat the same steps to connect the remaining parts of the mechanism to their corresponding bones. Now, in pose mode, select each bone one by one and test if they move their assigned parts correctly. As you can see, the entire hierarchy of bones works in a parent-child chain, moving from the root bone all the way to the tip of the mechanism. When the parent rotates, all the child bones automatically follow. This is called forward kinematics. In FK, animating a robotic arm can be difficult because you need to rotate each joint one by one. To make the tip reach a target, you must keep adjusting each bone manually, which is time-consuming and complex. That's why, for this mechanism, we'll use Inverse Kinematics. IK allows you to control the tip of the chain, while Blender automatically calculates the positions of all the other joints. This makes it much easier to guide the robotic arm's end toward a target. Now let's see how to set up Inverse Kinematics. Go into Edit mode and select the joint between the two bones. In the side view, press E to extrude a new bone. Press F2 and rename it IK bone. Now we need to remove this bone from the hierarchy. Select the bone, press Alt-P and choose Clear Parent. This makes the IK bone completely independent from the other bones. Switch to pose mode and test it to confirm. Next, let's add an IK constraint to the mechanism. In pose mode, select the bone where you want the IK constraint applied. This will be the first bone in the IK chain. Go to the Bone Constraints tab and add an Inverse Kinematics constraint. For the target, choose the armature object we created. Then, in the Sub-Target field, use the drop-down to select the IK bone. Now, when you select the IK bone and press G to move it, Blender automatically calculates the location and rotation of the other bones in the chain. This allows us to pose the entire mechanism just by moving the IK bone. However, we don't want the base and the rotating section on top of it to move. They should stay fixed and not be affected by the IK chain. To control this, we adjust the chain length in the IK constraint. Select the bone with the IK constraint, the green highlighted one. Set the chain length to 3. This way, only the first 3 bones after the IK bone are influenced by Inverse Kinematics. If you increase the chain length to 4, the entire arm will be affected, but the base will remain fixed. Also, If you enable the rotation option, then when you press R to rotate the IK bone, the entire chain will follow its rotation. We also need to limit the movement and rotation of the IK bone. Since the other bones follow its position, unrestricted movement can cause deformation at the joints. To reset the pose, select the IK bone and press Alt-G and Alt-R. Go to the Bone Constraints tab and add a Limit Rotation constraint for the IK bone. We want the IK bone to rotate only along its local x-axis, so enable y and z axes and set their minimum and maximum values to 0 degree. Also, set owner to local space. Now, when you press R to rotate the IK bone, you'll see that it only rotates along the local x-axis, while y and z rotation are locked. Next, add a Limit Location constraint. Looking at the IK bone's local axis, it should only move along y and z, not x. So, enable the x-axis, set its minimum and maximum values to 0 meters, and set owner to local space. Now, if you press G, the IK bone's movement along the local x-axis is locked. You can freely move and rotate the IK bone using G and R while posing the mechanism without causing deformation. Another issue occurs when you try to rotate the base's rotating part. If the IK bone stays fixed, the mechanism can deform. Go into Edit mode. First, select the IK bone, then hold Shift and select the other bone. Press Ctrl-P and choose Keep Offset to parent them. Now, switch to Pose mode and rotate the bone. You'll see the IK bone moves with it, and the mechanism works correctly. To reset the pose, press A to select all bones, then press Alt-G and Alt-R. Next, limit the rotation of the bones, controlling the grippers to the local x-axis to prevent unwanted motion. Now it's animation time. Switch to Object mode and add a cube to the scene. Scale it down slightly and press Ctrl-A, Apply Scale. Place the cube on the ground in a suitable position. Our goal is to have the robotic arm pick up the cube, carry it, and place it on the other side. Select the armature and switch to Pose mode. Select the IK bone. Make sure the timeline cursor is at frame 1. In the 3D viewport, press K and add a location and rotation keyframe. This creates a keyframe at frame 1. Now go to frame 30. Move the IK bone with G and rotate it with R, then press K to insert a new location rotation keyframe. Go back to frame 20. Select one of the bones controlling the grippers and press K to insert a rotation location keyframe. Move to frame 30, rotate the gripper with R, and add another keyframe. Return to frame 20 and repeat the same process for the other gripper. This way, both grippers will animate correctly to pick up and release the cube. To speed up the animation process, enable Auto Keyframe. With Auto Keyframe active, every time you move or rotate a bone, Blender automatically adds a keyframe. This saves you from manually inserting keyframes for every action. Go to frame 50. Select the IK bone and pose it appropriately. You'll notice that the keyframe is added automatically. Next, select one of the gripper bones and duplicate its last keyframe with Shift-D, then move it to frame 50. The orange line between keyframes indicates that this bone doesn't move between these frames. Go to frame 60 and rotate the gripper to grab the cube. Repeat the same steps for the other gripper. Then select the IK bone, duplicate its last keyframe, and move it to frame 60. Now for an important point. When you move the IK bone, the cube does not move with the arm. To make the cube follow the mechanism, we'll use a child of constraint. Select the cube and go to the Constraints tab. Add a child of constraint. Set the target to the armature and the target bone to bone 006. You can identify this bone by pressing Z to switch to wireframe mode. This is the bone inside the IK bone that controls the rotation of the mechanism. Click Set Inverse. This ensures that the cube stays in its current position while being parented to the target bone. However, if you play the animation now, you'll notice that the cube moves with the mechanism from the very first frame. To fix this, we need to disable the child of constraint until frame 60. Go to frame 1 and select the cube. In the child of constraint, set the influence value to 0. This ensures the cube is not affected by the constraint at all. We need to keyframe this value to animate it. Go to frame 59, set influence to 0, and click the small dot next to it to insert a keyframe. Then go to frame 60, set influence to 1, and insert another keyframe. Now the cube will stay in place until frame 60, and only after that will the child of constraint take effect. Switch to pose mode and continue animating the IK bone. Move to frame 90 and adjust the IK bone's position. Then select the bone controlling the lower rotating mechanism. Press K to insert a keyframe at frame 90. Go to frame 120. Press R, then double-tap Y to rotate the bone along its local Y-axis. At frame 150, position the cube on the ground. Again, set the influence of the child of constraint to 0 and insert a keyframe to release the cube from the IK control. From here, you can continue animating to complete the sequence. In this tutorial, we learned how to rig a simple robotic arm and animate it in Blender. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.